the Rangers journal.
Welcome back, everyone. This is the immediate match reaction to Rangers 4-0 victory over Ross County at the stadium. Scotty's joining us for this one. Are you all right, Scotty?
Aye, not bad at all. Not bad at all, Billy. Sorry for my disappearing act earlier on. I was updating Gers TV with Ryan that's on the podways, so that was a good experience. Never done anything for a studio before, so aye, it was a bit different.
You need to tell us about it later on, mate. And also, Mitch, welcome back.
Welcome back, Billy. Twice in one day. What a treat.
I know. Well, me and Cammy did two 2-hour-long ones back to back the other night there. So this is nothing in comparison.
You better be getting your overtime rate put in.
I'm writing my timesheet up then. I'll put it into the boss. I don't get paid to the following month. Anyway, Scotty, you weren't in for the pre-match, obviously. But what did you make of the starting lineup?
Aye, it was alright. Hoping to see some of the younger lads in for the beginning. And good to see Enciala coming in. It's just a kind of bog standard lineup, wasn't it, Billy? There was good to see Suter getting an earn his legs. That was very important today. But we can get into all that. But I wouldn't say there was any major surprises for me. I would say it was a pretty bog standard, strong lineup for Rangers against Ross County.
Yeah, we talked before, Mitch. Well, kind of limited in some areas, especially the kind of centre half. But yeah, great to see Suter come in, get that time. Hopefully, gets more time next week because we really need him going into the kind of European games, don't we?
We do, mate. But it's good to see a good strong hour in the legs. Wasn't he? There was no hurricane door defending that we were talking about earlier on required. Just no nonsense. Get an hour in, get it out. And that follows on from a nice wee half hour on Thursday night as well. So, and I think as well, the last two games as well, he's showed us what we've missed as well. Just that little bit of, that little bit of quality and just that little bit of calm at the back. Especially in the centre back, an actual centre back playing as a centre back. Never catch on or anything like that, but
Scotty, the Enciala as well, partner him there. We can talk about the game as a whole, but I'm thinking he's looking more and more confident in the team. He strides forward with the ball. I think you get called Bagheera at one point by our good friend Kevin Thompson. He's looking comfortable. He's not looking out of place.
No, definitely not. And one thing I'll give Mitch credit for is he says after the Dundee game that as the game went on, he was growing into the shirt a wee bit. I think he's taking it game by game and he's getting better and better and better, if I'm being honest. Putting on a jersey and coming up against a routine home match in Ross County might not seem like the toughest of challenges, but you need to have your concentration turned on. And the way Rangers centre halves play, having to step out and progress the ball forward, I thought he'd done that really, really well today. So, he's fitting in, and I just hope that the game time continues for him. That's my biggest thing with Enciala. He's made a breakthrough now. He's had a run of matches. Leave him in there. Just leave him.
No, I agree with you. Obviously, Robin Propper comes on to relieve Suter later on, but I would be starting them two next week again, Mitch. You in a similar kind of vein?
I think either starting the two of them together or starting either Fernandez with Suter, or I think we're definitely going to see a bit of a mixed combination next weekend of probably Suter's continued marriage minutes and obviously the urge to keep Enciala in there. I'm of the opinion of Enciala, he can only keep playing what's in front of him. And right now, when he's played the games that he's played, would I want to see him, for example, in an Old Firm lineup right now? Probably not, because he's not quite ready for that step. But seeing him in these games against the bottom six teams in the SPL, absolutely fine. It's exactly where he should be. And he's been solid, and I think he's been a nice positive outball at the back, and I think his range of passing really, really, really goes unnoticed. Like, his range of passing and the quality of passing, he doesn't miss that many passes. And he's proven himself a nice solid building block at the back.
Yeah, I'd like to see his pass accuracy or pass completion rate, actually, because he's looking like he's every bit of the AC Milan prospect that we were hoping to get when he came in. I actually thought, and Paul's actually said there, because I thought you were going to say, actually, has he said that? Aye, I thought you were going to say NCL and Fernandez to start next week, Mitch, when you first started there, but would that be too much of a risk?
Is it a risk though? No disrespect to Queen of the South, but Queen's Park, sorry. No disrespect to them. They're a championship team. We're not talking about two, we're not talking about two wee boys that don't know what a football looks like. We're not talking about slapping two 14-year-olds at the back. One's a 6'3" Portuguese under 20 internationalist who's got a bit about him, and the other one's, as you say, a hot prospect that's been playing regularly recently. These are the kind of games that, for me, the two of them learn some of the dark things about Scottish football. The wee niggly elbows, somebody's going to be biting at your ankles every 2 minutes, because these boys at Queen's Park are going to be looking for an opportunity to impress SPL clubs that are watching, or to catch the eye of even scouts in League Two or non-league down in England. These boys are looking for their next secure payday for themselves. Put them in there, because that's how when you start going to go against teams that make it a bit tricky, likes of Hearts and likes of Hibs, with a bit of the old shoving or a bit of the old sharp pulling and stuff like that in the box, you learn it at that level, to how to overcome it.
Scotty, the main thing, I guess, with the centre halves, and it's the same with the goalkeeper, is concentration when you play for Rangers, because that first half, I think it was 83% possession for us. We have a lot more of the ball, but it's these moments that's why we kind of muck up every now and again when we give away cheap goals. It's concentration rather than physicality sometimes.
Aye, definitely. I think the concentration was dead on today. I don't really think there was many. I think Butland saved a header in the second half. I don't really think he had much more to do. So it was a positive. It was a good partnership, because Suter brings a physicality and he can step out of defence. And Ciala's more of a technical type defender, but he's a big lump of a lad too. So I think there's plenty to be hopeful for the centre half, but then we could be one or two injuries away if we say we need another centre half again, aren't we? We've been so inconsistent in our thoughts with Rangers this season because of the way the players are being conditioned, picking up injuries left, right, and centre. Then you think, right, well, we need to buy this, we need to buy that. But sometimes if you just give the youth players a chance, they'll surprise you.
And Mitch and I did talk about that before in the preview pod, just about there's a couple of Suter's coming back now. Sterling's a couple of weeks away from coming back, so we actually maybe look okay, even though the transfer window slams shut tomorrow, as we know. I'll just remind everyone we are doing a transfer marathon. Is that what you'd call it, Scott? From 7:30 up to midnight.
Aye, we're doing a deadline day pod for 7:30 up to midnight. We'll be covering any news. If there's links, we'll try and get player profiles up, etc., etc. We'll discuss the team. We'll look at youth. We'll just look at anything Rangers related, to be honest with you, Billy. And
that's great, mate. Now, let's get on it.
Those are good few transfer rumours that come in.
I'm hoping so as well, and also I'm hoping that it waits till 7:30 before they start breaking, so we can break them live. Mitch, let's talk about the opening goal. Václav Černý has a shot palmed out by the goalkeeper, but straight into the path of Yanis Hadji, who taps away quite nicely.
Does his job, and this is the bit that I think. I know some people, Scott, I'm looking at you in particular, have accused Phil of being a big waffler when he speaks, obviously prior to games and earlier in the season when he mentioned the team coming good kind of late October, November time. I think this is the maturity he wanted then, back in November, that we're seeing now that he's only getting, now that he's got that kind of core group of players currently to work with, that know each other inside out now. They know where each other are going to be and what to expect when somebody else pops the shot in, or how to actually react to that properly. And I think, as you say as well, I think with Hadji there, he's where he needs to be, pops it in nicely, and once again it's all started from that industry from Tierney down the right, which if the money could be right, I would look at bringing him in. I've never made a secret of that.
That's probably something we can talk about tomorrow, Scott. I guess with links to future purchases if we don't bring in certain folk. But if you told me that the match was going to, or the half was going to end at 3-0 after the first 20 minutes, I don't think I would have believed you, because it was a bit of a sluggish start again. But getting that goal really kind of broke the dam burst.
Aye, definitely. Just to reply to Mitch quickly, Clement is an absolute waffler when it comes to press conferences. Sometimes when he's winning, he pulls out a great press conference, but when things aren't going his way, he talks absolute dribble. Right, that's just fact. There's nothing else about that. Any Rangers support will disagree with me on that. Anyway, the game, was it 2? Where we at? 2-0, Billy?
No, one at the moment, but it was more the first 20 minutes or so just were kind of a bit sluggish and nothing was
Well,
really coming off.
But see what I did notice. I noticed kind of we had a corner. Braskin finds space in the box again, like it did the other night, and with a free kick that came up, and it was taken very quickly. Don't get me wrong, it was pulled back. But seeing things like that, that's a wee bit more positive when it comes to dead ball situations, mate. That's something we've not seen all season. So I don't know who's implementing it, but please keep implementing it, because we're going to be a far more dangerous team if we're competent with the ball in dead ball situations.
Scott, I think it's telling we're on right after the game, not even waiting for the manager's comments, because I don't think any of us really care what he's got to say. I mean, I'll look at them later on, and I'll watch whatever the videos that come up. But I'd rather just talk about the game. But Scott, we do get a free kick outside the box. 4 players, I think, standing around at one point. I was counting, and certainly something they've been working on, because the way they play, was it Diamandi that he was getting placed in front of the wall. It's more of a in golf, if you try to putt and you pick a wee bit on the ground to use as your aim, it seemed to be that kind of thing. If maybe you don't play golf, I don't know, but it's
My handicap's
free
picking
kick.
up a club.
Very good. You assume Tab's going to hit it, but in the end, it's Hadji. It takes a wicked deflection off the head of one of the defenders for Ross County, and it goes the opposite, puts the keeper the wrong way. I think Scott Hadji did get the goal because it is on target, so he still gets credit for it. Am I right there?
Aye, it does.
Take us through that goal then.
It does. Very surprised to see Tav gain up a free kick in the first place, to be honest. But then I've noticed that in the kind of last couple of weeks that Hadji's been on a few more corners. Cherny's been hitting corners, so I think that kind of responsibility slowly getting peeled away from Tav. Now, James Tavernier over a free kick, nobody's ever going to complain that he's rocking up to hit a free kick if it's a shot at goal. But I thought, I don't know, the way the wall was set up did strike me as a wee bit weird. Obviously, Diamandi's in there to try and distract, kind of take defenders' minds off. Aye, pretty much, aye. And it's a well hit free kick. It's got a big slice of luck in it. Don't get me wrong, but deserved to go at the time.
Did it look like it was going to go in if it hadn't hit the defender, Mitch? I hadn't seen it from behind.
Aye, hands down, mate. That was going in top right. Either way, that was going
okay.
in. Like, but for my money, at least, and I'm sure if you ask Yaris, he was putting it in top bin. I think what's been interesting, Scotty just touched on it there. Over the last few weeks or so, obviously seeing other people take the set pieces, I actually think one of the big things that's hamstrung us a little bit has been the fact that maybe other teams domestically and to a certain extent in Europe have got so used to seeing Tavernier hitting everything that there's not any surprise left behind these deliveries anymore. So when you start to mix it up and you have the likes of Tierney taking in crosses or Hadji taking in crosses, it does start to yield very different results, and we're starting to see that now.
No, I think you're right, because not long after we get a corner, I think it's Cherny takes that. I guess it's Raskin taking the kind of Rebo role, but going kind of short and knocking it to the back post, where John Suter fires it into the roof of the net. Scotty, that's another goal from a corner, and I guess another goal from a set piece if we're taking the one previous as well. Things are improving a wee bit, slowly.
Aye, definitely, mate, definitely. And you look at Arsenal and the amount of goals they can score from a set piece routine this season and last season, and the difference of having a set piece coaching or having somebody on your coaching staff who takes that area away from the manager. Now, I don't know if this is because of the new Moroccan boy that's coming in, that Phil's getting the time on the training park to actually get to do what he wants to do with corners, or whether it's a Moroccan boy that's doing it. And see, to be honest with you, I don't care who's doing it. I just want to see. I just want Rangers to be able to cross a ball in and put it on Big Soapy's head. Do you know what I mean? It's not hard. Whether three players are darting across the front post or you knock it in the near post and somebody heads it back, it doesn't matter. We should be utilising this tool a lot more efficiently than we have done, and we're starting to do so, Billy. So again, that's all the wee nudges that are going to give the manager more credit in the bank. Is bringing on Bailey Rice at half time. It's being able to score for a corner. It's being able to defend your box at corner kicks as well. We need to see all these wee improvements to start putting a wee bit of trust back in him again.
Is that you saying that he should be here for the next 3 years? That's what I'm hearing.
No, I am firmly on the fence. I don't know what way it's going to go, to be honest with you, but I think I'll make my mind up at the end of the season.
What I would say, Mitch, is it's good to actually at least have some hope when we're taking a free kick or we're taking a corner that we might score from it now, because for the first half of the season, I had no hope. Anytime folk used to cheer for a corner, I don't really get excited about them, but now they're starting to get a few goals under their belts from these set pieces.
1 minute, the Doug's decided to barge in.
I'll come to you then. Unless you, right, cool.
No, he's decided he's just going to lie at my feet instead. But I think now with set pieces and stuff, it was we were humming at them, let's be honest, at the start of the season. Absolutely hoaching. We could have had the nay keeper in the net and we still wouldn't have got a shot off on target. But I also think that comes down to, as a team the last year, we've been really guilty of overcomplicating things. Football's not that difficult, where you go, goalkeeper's job, keep ball out of net. But when you put the ball in the mixer, it makes a goalkeeper's job a hell of a lot harder. And that's something I don't think as a club and as a team we've been particularly good at doing up until recent weeks. So whatever's changed, like Scotty said, just keep doing it. Put ball in box and put ball in net.
Scott, half time 3-0. I had that feeling that it was going to be what we got in the second half, which was okay, maybe one more goal, but that was really it. Into the second half, you see, you've mentioned already, Bailey Rice comes on. I was really impressed by a few of his touches, a few of his passes, a shot that he could have done, he could have went in. But we get across into the box, a wee bit of a skirmish, and then John Souttar puts the ball in the back of the net. Now, at that point, I was not expecting to be a duel for two hat-tricks, Hadji and John Souttar. Clearly, Dessers is offside, and it's a bit disappointing, but it's good that he's putting them away, though.
Aye, even that we've got that format of the ball coming into the box, somebody flicking it on and it gets to Souttar. That's what's been missing. It's just been hitting hope for far too long now, Billy, and it's about putting some kind of routine, some kind of template in for how Rangers take a corner. And we're seeing that now. And like I said, that's all the wee things that are going to get credit in the bank for the manager, because this is all the stuff that needs to be fixed. But it was unlucky. It was a well worked corner. I actually can't believe I just says that, if I'm being honest.
And Mitch, it's good that he's Souttar's still keeping up there, because he's not just running back. He's got the trust, I guess, in the players that are kind of hanging back, that you can stay there for an extra 30 seconds to a minute to see if anything comes of it.
I think that's the joys of having younger players like Enciala and stuff like that in there. As Souttar knows he doesn't need to use his it doesn't need to use 90 mile an hour legs to get back. When you've got a 6'3", 6'4" partner there that can cover the full pitch in about 2 seconds, it makes a huge difference. And as you say, having that better delivery, I think, it all comes down to that combination of things, which just makes it much smarter for Souttar to be there.
And Scotty, one thing I wanted to talk about was Igaman, because he tried another one of those overhead kick shots. He had a nice wee touches here and there, but nothing really kind of came off for him today. Is it a wee bit of a worry that he's not scored in a couple of games?
No, I think young players are going to be inconsistent, mate. And I think he had this spell when he kind of first came onto the scene. He had a couple of cameos off the bench where you thought, all right, he's got a nice touch, he's got this, he's got that. And then he kind of died off a wee bit, and then he came back with a bang. You're going to get that. He's not He's no R9 2.0, you know what I mean? I think he's been very good if he came into the team, but I think maintaining standards is all part of a young boy's learning, if I'm being honest. And while he is a special talent, I think staying here till the summer or whenever it's going to be is the best place for him, because he's going to get game time to iron out any issues he's got. He does try a spectacular. He gets bums off of seats. He's a special talent. He's a generational talent. So, but he's also a human being that's going to learn things at his job. You know what I mean? And we need to give him the platform to do that.
Mitch, are you hopeful that one of these spectaculars is going to come off one day and be like goal of the year?
I tell you now, mate, when one of them comes off, we're all going to have witnessed probably the goal of our lifetimes where he does there, and it's going to be something mental, like a scorpion kick or something that he puts in.
Yeah.
Like, I'll not even be a scissor kick; it'll be something that he's no meant. But I think as Scotty said there, with these young raw talents that we're going to have coming through, even boys like Yefty, he had a spell, 2-3 game spell there where he went a bit, by his standards, off the boil, so to speak. It's going to happen because they've not played at this level consistently before. He's only 21. He was playing basically in a military team prior to joining us. He's probably still physically getting used to the workload of 3 games in a week. And realistically, had Danilo been fit or had Cortez been fit, he would have probably played half the minutes that he's played over the last few weeks. And that's not a knock on his talent. That's about managing a young player and managing their expectations. But as always, Physio FC that we've got, we kind of get half the players off the table long enough to allow that switch in, because it would have been quite interesting, for example, if we had a couple of bodies like Cortez and that in the team today. Would it not have been nice to have seen Bailey Rice and Agamani come on at half time when the game was already sewn up? Let them go out there and bang 1 or 2 in there just for a bit of fun.
Scotty, we seen changes on the 7th. Well, we've seen obviously Bailey Rice and Robin Propper come on earlier, but we've mentioned that already. But by Rami and Lawrence came on, I wanted to pinpoint Lawrence, because there was rumours that he might be away, but I'm thinking probably if he's playing today, he's probably not in line to be transferred tomorrow. What do you think?
Nah, I don't think he's leaving. I really don't think he's leaving, Billy. I think if he was going to go, he wouldn't have played today, or he wouldn't have got minutes off the bench like he did. So if we've got Tom Lawrence to end the season, it's not necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's stopping for the season that we've got when we're not competing for the league. Right, let's be honest about it. We're not competing for the league. So why not just playing CEO, taking CEO off the bench and put him on there instead of Tom Lawrence? That's the bit that's going to probably grate me about it. You know what I mean? We had the same situation with Dibble blocking Rice, and now I feel as if it's going to be Lawrence blocking off somebody else's chance.
Yeah, I hope so, mate. I think as long as Europe's alive, this probably is going to keep him, especially ahead of NCO. But hey, it was just something that came to mind when I seen him come on and thought, I thought it was a chance he was going to be away tomorrow. Obviously, no Yilmaz in the squad. We're led to believe by Philip Clement, Mitch, that he's just injured. There is a lot of rumours going around that he's already in Turkey, but I'm going to trust the manager in this one. I don't think he will leave before tomorrow.
I think putting a sensible head on, the manager knows where his player is.
Yeah.
And that's, not to be sounding too flippant about that, but the manager does know where his player is. And it could just be that, since he came back from the injury that he's just returned from, he played far too many minutes than what even the physios probably would have wanted. Chances are he's maybe got a wee muscular nick or something and it feels like he's been out for a lot longer because of how many games we've got over such a short space of time. In all realisms, he's actually only missed a week, but he's missed 3 games because of how many games that we play in a week.
And last talk. Sorry, I'll come in. Last talking point is we finally got a penalty, Mitch. I thought initial watchings of it. I thought Dessers had, I don't know, tripped or just mishit the ball. When you see it back from behind, it is a kind of scissor motion on his standing leg, I guess. So I can see why it was given, and obviously not overturned by VAR because of that. What were you thinking at the time?
It was a pen. The issue wasn't so much the initial contact; it's the follow-through leg, and it's the follow-through leg that if Dessers isn't as smart about it as he is, if that cops him in the back of the Achilles, that's a nasty one. That's one of these ones where you go, you're looking at probably 2-3 months out at that point. But, common sense prevailed. VAR, heaven forbid, done its job properly. And, again, good work from Dessers to be terrible to say, but good work to win the penalty. But right place, right time, and, he's dragged the foul out of his man and he's taken one for the team. And Tavs went up, dispatched it expertly.
Scott, you mentioned earlier on that Tav has been kind of pried from a few of the roles that he had, free kick taker, corner taker, but he's not off penalties. I take it you're happy with that. I mean, I think his penalties have been fairly consistently good.
Oh, more than. I mean, he's. I think what kind of solidified Tav as a Rangers penalty taker for me was when he scored that one against Dortmund. When he stuck the body back in there, it showed me he can take them in a high pressure environment. So I've got no qualms with Tav hitting penalties. He's got a really, really good record after him, and he pretty much done a keep every day. If I'm being honest, with his run up sent to keep every wrong way. Sent to keep at the shops. Not he had today was rolling into the other side. Beautiful.
Yeah, it does look like he was going to place it the top corner, the opposite side, where the keeper goes, to be fair. And just rolls it out. Game ends up 4-0. Nothing really dramatic happens as far as I can remember, guys. Mitch, any final thoughts before we wrap up? Because we've been going for nearly half an hour now.
4 goals, 3 points, away up the road.
Fair dues. Scotty, yourself, any final comments on the game?
No, Bally, not at all. Routine home victory. 3 points on the board. Couple of goals for Hadji. Some minutes in the legs for Suter. We look competent for corners and dead ball situations. That's the biggest plus for the day for me, is we're starting to look dangerous.
Well, I'll finish up by saying thank you everyone for watching both pods today. Remind you that we do have that transfer shows tomorrow for the window closing. That starts at 7:30 and we're on all the way through to midnight, and we'll talk about transfers, all things Rangers, and see what kind of happens tomorrow, I guess. Scotty, thanks for coming on, mate.
No bother, Billy. Thanks for having me on, mate.
And Mitch, thanks again, mate. Thanks
for having us again, boys.
If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. And also, if you want to listen to the chats, if you want to listen to the podcast, we're on the podcast apps as well. So it just leaves me to say thank you again for everybody watching. And remember, every night is the Rangers Journal night.